you.
Okay, Chantel, welcome to
Hello.
Black Travel and
Thank
Culture.
you.
Um, I am super duper excited about this conversation. I haven't even
Mhm.
told you this yet.
Mhm.
I've been on a plant-based kind of cleanse detox since
Okay.
I was in Mexico for a month. And
Mhm.
it's very carb heavy, like the foods. And even though they have great fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
um, a lot of tacos,
Yeah.
a lot of beans, a lot of rice. So I felt like I needed a cleanse. So I've been
Mhm.
plant-based since I returned on January 10th. I'm going to say I probably went full plant-based about the 14th. And I am
Okay.
down 11 pounds as of
Oh,
this morning.
congratulations. That's so
So
great.
I am super excited for this conversation because one of the challenges, and we'll get more into this in a second,
Yes.
one of the challenges is, exciting meals.
Yes.
And this is your specialty. So I
It
am
is. Yeah.
super excited about this conversation. And we're going to bring you back to talk more about recipes and
Mhm.
finding unique ways to not fall off the wagon, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
anyway, I just want to get into the conversation because of course we hear all of the stats about the issues that affect our community, as
Mhm.
far as, diabetes and hypertension and heart ailments. And we're number one in almost every category across the board in those
Unfortunately, yeah.
areas. I believe we are number one. And a lot of that is based on diets,
Yep.
right?
It's very
Diets. And
true.
so, um, when people hear plant-based or vegan or vegetarian, it can be a little intimidating and scary,
Yeah.
especially if that's not how you were raised or, you're new to the lifestyle. And so the first question after you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are is if you can just start off with breaking down the difference between vegan, plant-based, vegetarian, and just, let everyone know exactly what the differences are and where you are on that spectrum. And
Okay.
of course, let us know who you are.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Chantel, and I am the content creator behind Chantel's Food Ventures, where I teach people how to make healthy plant-based meals without compromising flavor and excitement. Um, that healthy doesn't mean boring is my slogan, if you will, for this whole thing, because I think a lot of people get discouraged and think, okay, I'm eating healthy, so that means it's salad and water. And it's just like, no, that's not the case. There's many different ways you could, zhuzh up the fruits and vegetables to make it actually exciting. Because I personally think that eating is an experience also with, the health benefits of it. So in terms of the differences between vegan, vegetarian, and plant-based, so baseline, everybody eats fruit, vegetables, grains, nuts and seeds, and whatever else. But the differentiation would be like vegans typically eat a lot of um, substitutes, if you will. So you have like the vegan burgers, vegan cheese, vegan hot dogs, all of that kind of processed stuff within their diet. For vegetarians, they eat animal by and vegans don't eat animals or animal byproducts. So no
Mhm.
cheese and all of that, no dairy. For vegetarians, they don't eat animals, but they do eat animal byproducts. So they will eat cheese, they will eat eggs, they will eat honey. Vegans typically do not eat honey either.
Right.
Um, and then with plant-based, it's there's technically two different forms of plant-based. There's whole food plant-based, and then there's other plant-based. So I'm a part of like the other plant-based, if you will. And that just basically means that majority of what I eat is from plants, so fruits and vegetables, grains, and whatever else. So for me personally, I still eat eggs and I still eat Greek yogurt. That's just it just is what it is, but majority,
Right.
I would say 95% of my diet is plants. So that would basically be like differences. Mhm.
Okay, so would you classify yourself as vegetarian?
I would not because I
Oh,
still eat fish.
so you would
So
classify yourself as pescatarian.
not really. Oh, and you see, like it's all about. I feel like it's semantics when it comes
Okay.
to um
Listen, we trying to
these
lose the
lifestyles.
44.
Yeah.
We're trying to lose the 44 pounds that you were able to accomplish. So, well, I know I am. So
Yeah.
I want to just get some clarification. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like labels, right?
Yeah.
People have different definitions of
Hmm.
labels, right? And
Yeah.
so if someone was to ask you what your
Hmm.
diet is, or what
Yeah.
your eating, where do you fall on the spectrum of
Yeah.
everything we just talked about? How would you answer that question?
I would answer as plant based
Plant based. Oh,
because
okay,
yeah, because even though eat fish, I would say that's probably once a month
got it.
and max. You know, so it's like so it's
Okay.
not really and it's usually only like salmon and that's it. So I don't eat shellfish or anything like that. So it's like, am I really pescatarian? I don't know.
Oh,
So
okay, got it.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm mostly pescatarian, but I
Mhm.
have been known to eat bacon at a brunch, or
Yeah.
or a burger if I'm feeling like my energy is low. It's weird,
Hmm.
or some type of meat to get
Yeah.
my energy. I used to be really anemic, and so
Okay.
that's a quick way, maybe not the healthiest way, but a quick way to spike up my
Yeah.
iron levels. So yeah. Okay. So, I kind of touched on, well, we talked about the different, I'm taking my notes as you can see
Yeah. Okay.
as we go along. I kind of touched on the spectrum. Now,
Hmm.
if you can share a little bit, because I know you grew up vegetarian,
I
correct?
did. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, if you can share a little bit about your early years and how that played into where you are now. Um, yeah, so if you could just start there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was born and raised vegetarian. My mom was vegetarian, so we ate what she ate. And at the time, I will say like eating outside of the home was very difficult because vegetarianism wasn't like a mainstream thing yet. So, oftentimes we did get a lot of looks like, what do you mean you don't eat meat? So then what do you eat? And it's just like, wow, like there's a lot of things that are considered vegetarian besides, animal products, but okay.
Right.
So that, um, yeah, it was just very difficult. So even if, say, we went out to like Wendy's or something, right? And we would eat cheese sandwiches because there's nothing else on the menu to really, there was no Impossible Burger or anything. So it would just be
Right.
cheese and bread. And the cashier would often look at my mom like she was crazy. That's like, what do you mean you don't want, the burger in between the bun and all that stuff? And it was just like, well, it was like, it is what it is. Like, that's how we ate. So we were just kind of used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when so I was vegetarian up until college. I went to college. I got my degree in culinary arts, food service management. And there also wasn't a lot of vegetarian options. And then at that point, I'm just like, well, I need to eat. And, this chicken Alfredo looks kind of good.
Oh,
So
wow.
let's try it out. So it wasn't like, I wasn't really like a strict, like, that was just all I knew. So it was like, okay, but the option was there. So I was like, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens and whatever else. Um, so throughout college, I was eating poultry and fish.
Okay.
Um, and then I would say probably a few years after graduating college, I kind of circled back to my roots, if you will. It was just like, cleaning raw chickens started to give me the ick. Honestly, I hated the smell of it and whatever else. So I kind of was just like, I don't think I could eat this anymore. Like I just don't want to. So I like slowly omitted that from my diet. I still enjoy fish, so I still eat fish, but I more so got into the plant-based lifestyle from a health perspective. I was just like, okay, at this point, I'm almost 300 pounds. I need to do something different. All these other diets, if you will, that I tried did not work, or it worked to a certain extent and then stopped working. So I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so I guess what's next on the list is plant based, you know? So that's kind of how I ended up here. And I actually enjoy it. So,
So did you notice a weight gain after you started incorporating the chicken and fish into your diet in college?
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, there's
So there was a
definitely,
direct correlation to,
yeah.
okay, yeah. And it's interesting because I became like an accidental,
Hmm.
well, it started with me eliminating red meat.
Yeah.
When I was in college, it's so weird. When I was in college, a good friend of mine, he was vegetarian.
Yeah.
And on Sundays, um, him and his housemates would do like a vegetarian potluck. And so, but they could cook. Like I had never had kale before. You know, we had
Yeah.
collard greens and spinach, but I had never had kale before. And so all of these other, or asparagus.
Yeah.
And so all of these other vegetables were introduced. And so I didn't become a complete vegetarian. But I eliminated meat, red meat,
Hmm.
and pork. And I could immediately feel the results of it. Like I could feel the difference,
Yeah.
um, from mental clarity to,
Hmm.
not feeling sluggish and all of that. So college actually was responsible for changing my eating habits as well.
Yeah.
Yours, you
Yeah, it's the
incorporated
opposite.
me.
Yeah.
Me, I eliminated meat. But that's interesting. So you started, um, and of course, like you said, that we had such limitations up until recently on the
Yep.
types of food. And the one thing that I would say my challenges is carbs. Like,
Hmm.
I started classifying myself as a carbitarian when I did try to do vegetarian because I ate a lot of carbs. A baked potato was filling, right?
Hmm.
And it was easy to make. You put it in the oven within 45 minutes, you had a baked potato and you put your toppings or whatever,
Yep.
but it's carbs, rice, filling, but not the healthiest, right? If you eat it all the time. And
Hmm.
so, we also know like potato chips,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Vegetarian, but not the healthiest. And so, if you can share some of the challenges that you faced
Hmm.
be- before you became this creative
Hmm.
um, chef who knows how to create exciting meals, what were some of your challenges when you first initially started your plant-based journey or your plant-based journey?
Yeah. Um, I think my initial challenge was, what do I eat? Like, honestly, I'm just like, I don't know, like, what to eat, because I feel like, um, to a certain extent, we have become, or we have been, like, very limited when it comes to produce, right? And
Mhm.
what we see in front of us is typically, string beans, collard greens, cabbage, corn, the basic stuff like that.
Right.
And so for me, I was just like, there's no way I'm eating string beans all day, every day, and a sweet potato and hoping for the best. So that's kind of like how this whole Chantel's Food Ventures thing came about initially, because I was like, okay, if I'm struggling with this, I know there's other people struggling with this too. So now I have to figure it out so that I can help people out so they don't fall off on their, new lifestyle changes they want to do, because it's very easy. Because,
Right.
like I said before, I consider eating to be an experience, and you should be happy eating whatever you're eating. Um, so I actually, during the pandemic, I used to get produce delivered to my house
Oh,
of
wow.
random produce. So it was like a mystery basket, if you will. So I would open it
Okay.
up, had no clue what was inside. And that's how I kind of introduced myself to different types of vegetables. And then I was just like, okay, so I have these vegetables now. Now I have to figure out how to cook them, how to make them taste good, and how to make them exciting. So that's kind of like how I, got introduced to, say, like Swiss chard, spaghetti squash,
Yes.
oyster mushrooms, like all of those stuff. So you kind of just have to, I had to like actively like search it out, I guess.
And I'm so glad you talked about having produce delivered to you, because
Mm-hmm.
so many of us find it difficult, right? To
Yeah.
find not just produce, but healthy produce. That still have seeds,
Yes.
or still,
Yeah.
um, or even like you said, things like Swiss chard may not be available in every neighborhood, but it is
Mm-hmm.
so delicious. And
I love
I'm
it.
glad you brought that up, because although I didn't do fresh produce delivery, I did prepared foods
Mm-hmm.
by chefs. I don't want to call out the company right now, but I can. It's Cook Unity, I think. And so during the
Okay.
pandemic, they had vegetarian options, but they would have the types of foods or vegetables and fruits that weren't necessarily readily available, and especially
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic. So I was able to get rainbow Swiss chard or purple carrots and,
Yeah.
different types of vegetables that, I'm telling you guys, if you do not incorporate colors
Yep.
or have not, and you just stick with what we knew growing up, you're missing out, because these vegetables, you actually have a recipe. Oh my God. I told you I've been
Mhm.
stalking your social media. So the purple sweet potatoes,
Oh, yes.
life changing. I actually made a purple sweet potato pie this past
Oh,
Thanksgiving for the first
wow.
time ever. I
Yeah.
have an aunt that hates sweet potato pie,
Mhm.
loved the purple sweet potato pie. I made her taste it and she was like, okay, okay, what is this? What is this? So, yeah, so definitely, I'm glad you brought that up. And also talking about, what are you going to eat? So I'm just curious,
Mhm.
like your social situations. I know you grew up vegetarian, so
Mhm.
you probably were more versed in figuring things out. But
Yeah.
did you, some people tend to avoid social situations when they
Mhm.
are serious about starting this journey because of the fear factor. Did
Yeah.
you have that at all? Like when you are in social situations, how do you, navigate through that?
No, I didn't have any fear about it, only
Okay.
because I love to eat. So it's just like if there's food involved, I'm probably coming. But I will say that if it's a restaurant setting or something like that, I would always ask, okay, what's actually on the menu, so I could see if there's things for me to eat and actually enjoy, and if it's not something that I can eat, but I want to socialize, I'll usually just eat ahead.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just
Okay.
to cut it out, like I know my food is good, I am full, so now I can socialize if there's nothing for me.
I love it. I love it
Hmm.
to eat ahead. So this way it removes some of the temptation
Yep.
and you're going someplace full. I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever thought to do that. So that's a gem right there. Oh, and to anyone watching now, you know, the replay, thank you for tuning in. We're going to give Chantel another opportunity to introduce her channels in a couple minutes. Black Travel Culture is a lifestyle channel where we just simply drop gems in the areas of wellness, travel, and finance. And with Chantel losing 44 pounds, I mean,
Yeah.
44 pounds by being plant based. And many of us at the top of the year are looking to do the same, no matter what the number is, insert your own
Yep.
number. I just did a testimony that in the past 2.5 weeks, I've gone plant based and lost 11 pounds. And I have not exercised because I'm someplace where it's cold and snowy. And I have not literally been able to, or I chose not to leave the house. But I was still able to drop the weight and with not really restricting myself. And
Mhm.
again, with Chantel's channel on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well,
Yeah. Yep.
she has so many unique recipes that, again, I did my grocery list for this week based on her channels, and I can't wait to try some of the recipes. But so
Exciting.
if you haven't followed her yet, make sure you go ahead and follow her on all social media platforms. Be sure to follow Black Travel and Culture, where, you know, like I said, we discuss wellness, travel, and finance, and literally just really want to sprinkle a little bit of information that may not be readily available to us in those specific lifestyle areas. So let's get into the misconceptions. We want to literally understand some of the misconceptions that you've heard as a chef, and also as somebody who's been vegan and or plant-based forever. Can you tell us some of the misconceptions that you've heard about going plant-based or plant-based eating habits? Just some of the
Um,
misconceptions. Yeah.
One, I would the first thing that just came into my head is like plant-based equals salad and sadness. And it's like that's not the case. Like um like a lot of people they think, okay, you're eating healthy, so it has to be just salad. And it's like, no, like there's so much produce in this world. I hardly eat salad, honestly.
Oh,
Not because I
wow.
don't like it, but it's just not. I prefer hot food, you know. So it's just
Right.
like, so I don't really. That's not my first go-to meal idea. Um, I think another misconception would be that I'm starving. No, that's not the case either. You know, especially since plant-based diet is very nutrient rich. So if you're eating properly and balancing your plate properly, you're not going hungry. Like that's not true. Um, that there's no protein in a
Yeah.
plant-based diet. That one
Yeah.
I think is kind of funny in a way because I can understand why someone would think that based off of how protein is like advertised to us. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when you think protein, you think, you know, chicken, eggs, steak, um, pork, and all of that stuff. And it's just like, so you almost have to like reprogram your brain. I had to do it myself too, starting this on what protein is when it comes to plant based
Mm-hmm.
eating. So, like for me now, when I think protein, I think, you know, quinoa, hemp seeds, peanuts, tofu, tempeh, broccoli, uh, various greens, all of that contains protein. So if you have all of that compiled on your plate, you're getting your protein. And you could also, you know, go the easier route and do like a plant-based protein powder too for those just starting off. So it's like the protein is there. It's not lacking.
Yeah. So you said salads and sadness. Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's really what vegetarianism was at one time. You ate
Yeah.
salads. And I knew
Hmm.
people that ate salads for breakfast. Like they'd
Yep.
wake up, make a salad, and go to sleep. You know,
Yeah.
their last meal of the
Exactly. You
day
know.
was salad. And when you said about the protein, I did a video and I'm going to link it up here. This has been a while ago, but I talked about my top negative experiences when I first went vegetarianism, when I
Hmm.
first went vegetarian, and I didn't do it right. And
Yep.
there were there were some side effects,
Yeah.
you know, but I wasn't adequately, or I didn't even know what to look for in fruits and vegetables as it related to vitamins and nutrients. And I
Yeah.
told you before, I had suffered from anemia, and I had a doctor who told me, like, listen, your levels are at the point now. If you're doing this for religious reasons, then okay. But if
Yeah.
you're not, incorporate some liver at least once
Yeah.
a week to get your numbers up. And he was saying, you know, I'm not even talking fried liver smothered in gravy. He was put it in the oven, you know, and it was because I didn't know how to find iron
Yeah.
through
In food.
fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables and things like that. So I'm glad you addressed those misconceptions. Now let's talk about the weight loss. We got to get
Mhm.
into weight loss. Um, can you share like You don't have to give us, because this won't be your last time here. You already promised me you're coming back, and we're going to
I
talk
did.
more about recipes. So I'm excited about that. But can you just give a summary of like your journey, your weight loss journey? Just
Okay.
how did you do it?
Man, I don't know. No, it's not. So, so I started this journey in 2019.
Okay.
Um, I I got me a trainer. I was just like, all right, I need to move my body, let's try it this way. I wasn't too I was still eating whatever I wanted. So I was still eating the potato chips and all the, processed bag stuff and whatever else. I was like, if I work out, I should be fine. So I was working out 4 days a week. I was able to lose some weight, and then the weight loss just stopped. Like, so I think I lost water weight, and then that was it. It was just like, okay, we have to do
Wow.
something else now,
Because the
Um,
processed foods were still
mhm.
part of your
It's
diet. Okay.
counteracting like the work I'm putting in at the gym.
Okay.
So yeah, so the weight loss just stopped. I said, wait, hold up. It's just like we were doing a great thing. What's going on? I still know that my eating was bad. I was just like, but I just don't feel like, changing that. So I'm not going to. So now I'm working out almost for no reason because,
Mhm.
like if my goal was weight loss, that means I have to change my diet. Your diet is majority of what you have to change in terms of weight loss. That's just fact.
Mhm.
Um, so I tried different diets, if you will. I did intermittent fasting,
Okay.
which worked a little bit, but I don't think I was doing it properly. So I was starving most of the day. I
Mhm.
used to do raw cleanses, so just raw fruits and vegetables for like 5 days. I was angry all the time because the I need the excitement, like so I had an attitude. I was like, this is horrible. I
Right.
don't like this. um, then I tried doing juice cleanses, which I actually do like, but that's not a long term solution. You
Right.
can't live off of
No.
juice, like
Mm.
no. So then I was like, okay. So at that point, I probably lost, I would say maybe like 18 pounds from trying to figure things out there.
Okay.
So I was just like sitting there looking at the plant based lifestyle and it's looking back at me. I was like, well, I was like, this is the last thing to try on the list. I was like, well, so I guess we're gonna try it. Like, I have no other choice. So so I tried it out and the weight fell off of me. So I wouldn't say quickly. Like I wouldn't say quickly, but
Mhm.
like if I started this in 2019, it would have been, by this point probably would be more pounds. Um,
Right.
but of course everything is
So
trial and
wait, when
error.
did you?
So
I'm sorry.
mhm,
When did you start plant based? So you started everything else 2019. Was it a
mhm.
year
So
later?
I
So
would
when did you?
say probably 2021. I was dabbling a little bit in plant based, and then I got very serious between 2022 and 2023.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
so this is very recent weight
Oh,
loss.
okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know. Okay, wonderful.
yeah,
I mean, a recent testimony
yeah,
means that it still works, right? And
yeah,
my
yeah,
testimony is recent as well. And that was nothing but divine intervention,
yeah,
pushing you, like showing you, like, okay,
yeah.
God
Get it
is
together.
showing you, like, okay,
Yeah,
he's dangling the plant-based
yeah,
lifestyle in front of you, and you were able
yeah.
to benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so once you started plant-based,
Mm-hmm.
what was the amount of weight you lost and how long did that take?
So that was 24 pounds, and
Okay.
that was under a year. So I
Okay.
would say like maybe like 8 months.
Okay.
And with that, outside of just changing what I was eating, I had to change my mindset around food. And so like I had to drink more water. I was still
Mhm.
working out. I was weight training 4 days a week. I still am weight training 4 days a week. Um, I had to give myself a bedtime
Mm,
because like a lot of people think that just changing your diet is going to be it in terms of weight loss. Like, no, you got to go to sleep. You have to
yeah.
get your 7 to 8 hours because your body is not regenerating itself properly. So you're not going to lose the weight.
Yeah.
Um, Now I have a set time to eat. So I eat at 10, 2, and 6. Um,
10,
and
2, and 6.
yeah,
Okay.
and
So
that's just
6
a
o'clock
cycle
is
of
your
things.
final meal.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. um, and with that, I had to train myself to even do that because a lot you have to listen to your body
Mm-hmm.
too. And so those are the times that I feel hunger. So it's like, okay,
Oh,
so I have to
okay.
eat. Yeah, so now it's to the point I've done it so long now to the point where it's just like if I feel any type of hunger, I know what time it is. Like I don't have to look at the watch and say, okay, it's like it's about to be 2 o'clock. So if I were to look, it's like 1:56. And it's like, all right, I need to go eat a meal now. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
having that type of routine also helps with weight loss.
Yeah, I do agree now. I could never
Hmm.
have, I won't say never.
Hmm.
More often than not, my last
Yeah.
meal is more like 7:30-ish.
Hmm.
And so I just don't want anyone to believe that it won't work. I was trying to put my light back on, but
Hmm.
um, I don't want anyone to believe that it won't work if you can't have your last meal at 6. Find your
Oh no, no, no,
circadian
no.
rhythm
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly and work with that because especially for people who work outside of the home and commuting
Hmm.
and things like that, you may not be able to do it that early. If you can, great, because it gives your body time to rest, right? But if you
Yeah.
can't, know that I lost 11 pounds in what, 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks. Um, has it been 2 weeks? So the 14th, what's today? The 26th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just about, just under. Um, and my last meal is, like I said, between 7:30 and 8 p.m. I try not to eat. I try to do the 8 p.m. cutoff, but yeah. And I also, what I learned, I'm not a big breakfast person
Mm.
at all. I'm not. Give me a banana, maybe, which is carbs, right? Not the best fruit to have in the morning, but I'm not a breakfast person, and
Yep.
that was at one time stifling my results because I wasn't starting my metabolism. But what I've
Yeah.
learned to do, I try to keep berries, even if they're frozen berries, and I defrost them and make some type of water-based smoothie
Hmm.
with a little agave. But I try to do something first thing in the morning and have something, like you said, midday, and then have a dinner and healthy snacks throughout the day because
That too. Yeah.
that's important. I did have another question about you did mention weights. You do weights.
Yeah.
You
I do
training?
weightlifting.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you do any cardio?
At this point, maybe like 10 minutes of cardio.
Okay.
Yeah, because like for my personal fitness goal, I'm trying to lose body fat and gain muscle mass. So I do mostly weight training for that. And then I was like
Okay.
run on the treadmill or bike after.
Yeah. No, I like that formula. I need to focus more on weights because it's
Hmm.
the reverse for me. I do more cardio and less weight training, but I need
Yeah.
to at least have a 50-50. I think I need to do that.
Yeah. I
So
think that'd be
yeah,
good.
so again, if you're just tuning in, please be sure to follow Chantel. Next time she comes, we're going to have her YouTube name as her name. It's
Hmm.
Chantel's
Food ventures.
Food Ventures, not
Yeah.
Food Adventures. I was getting ready to say
No.
Adventures.
Yep.
Food Ventures on all social media, right?
Yeah. All
And
platforms.
so even though she's just starting her YouTube channel, she has a
Hmm.
wealth of recipes there. And when I tell you, you will not be disappointed. I'm calling her. You know how we call Tabitha Brown Auntie Tab? This is cousin Chantel
I'll take
or
that. I
baby
like
sis
that.
Chantel because her recipes are really getting me excited. Seriously, they're getting me
I
excited to
appreciate that.
continue this. And this is, listen, this is no joke. Like I literally
Yep.
was like, okay, I need her on this channel to show how we can, or share how we can eliminate the boredom when going
Yeah.
plant-based, and have exciting meals. And so I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I do
Okay.
want to ask you um, if you can. Well, I have a couple questions. Okay, so one,
Okay.
we talked a little bit about the protein
Hmm.
powders. You use that as a way to keep your protein levels up?
I do occasionally. Yeah, plant based. It's pea protein powder that I use.
What is it called?
Oh, well, it's just pea protein powder that you
Oh,
can find
pea
in
protein powder.
various. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and then I wanted to know, do you plan to continue this plant-based lifestyle as you have defined it,
Hmm.
with very little fish,
Hmm.
right? Very little fish, mostly salmon, you said. Um, do you plan to continue this plant-based lifestyle, or do you
Yes.
see yourself pivoting? Okay.
Oh,
All
no,
right.
no, no, definitely not. That's why. So that's why I don't refer to it as a plant based diet, because I personally think that with diets, there's like a means to an end. So it's like, okay, I got the results I wanted, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
done with this now, or whatever. But now for me, I call it a plant-based lifestyle, and I'm in too deep. Like at this point, like I'm really um I'm like excited with this plant-based lifestyle. And even more excited to make recipes for everybody who's on my platforms to give to them to try out, you know? So now this lifestyle is bigger than me at this point. And it's like there's no way I could promote on social media something that I'm not doing, you know? Because
Right.
it's just not right. It's deceitful.
Right. Right.
And I just like it because I like how I feel now. You know, like how you mentioned earlier, the mental clarity. I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of energy now. Um, I have like more confidence in just, how I walk around and whatever else, I have that nice clean bill of health. I just went to
Yeah.
the doctor a few days ago to do my blood work. Perfect. And
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, look at me. Like, just like doing the thing. And it's
I
just
love
it's
it.
it's exciting. Yeah.
I love it. Now, where can people um is it like if they wanted to join your email list, because I do know
Mhm.
you do have one, and I received a great like recipe book around the holidays from you, some
Oh
recipes.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you share how people can find or join your email list? And we'll link
So
it
I
in the description as
yeah,
well.
that's probably going to be the best way right now. I have it all on like a link tree
Oh, okay.
thing, so I'll probably have to like drop it in the comments or description or send it to you that way.
Do you have a website?
Not yet. It's in the
Okay.
process though. Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll make sure to include Chantel's links,
Mhm.
so you can join her email list, because you may get a nice little treat from her with some recipes. And I'm literally like I said, I wouldn't um I would not have asked Chantel to come on if I didn't think like when people went to her channel, they'd be like so impressed. So again, I thank you for that. And I kind of talked about the pivot a little bit. Like, were you thinking about doing a pivot? Because I know for
Mhm.
me, I travel a lot. And when I do, I like to immerse myself in whatever culture
Yep.
I'm in. And so although I plan to remain primarily pescatarian, plant-based
Mhm.
pescatarian, I do know that when I travel that I will incorporate other foods as I
Yes.
travel. And that's the beauty of life, right? You don't
Yep.
have to be so rigid in
Mhm.
these titles. You can be flexible, but always check your blood work. Like Chantel just said, she just came from
Yep.
the doctor, because you want to know if you do have deficiencies in vitamins.
Hmm.
And, again, we suffer from vitamin D deficiencies at higher
Yep.
rates. We suffer from anemia at higher rates. And so you just want to make sure that you address those, and you can address those from plant-based eating as well. So, tomorrow, Black Travel and Culture is going to do a whole another live with Gwen
Hmm.
Jameer about the power of the pivot. And Gwen Jameer is a CEO of Naturalicious hair care brand, and she has achieved such levels of success, um, and then decided, you know what? Now I'm gonna keep this business, right? I'm gonna keep Naturalicious, but I have some other passions, and it's, let's see how we can pivot into these areas that I think will bring me more joy. And so I want to thank Chantel for coming on to Black Travel and Culture today
Of
to give us
course.
great gems. That's what I'm gonna call. I'm gonna start calling these live segments like the gem droppers, because
I like
you
that.
know yeah, that's the new name. I just decided that, I want to say 2 days ago. But on our live segments with the gym droppers, we are going to, really get to the truth behind some things, and make these areas of health, wellness, and travel that seem impossible, break it
Mhm.
down to show you how it really is possible, right? And so Chantel gave us great tips about ordering produce if you can't access it easily. There's so many online
Yep.
platforms. I'm gonna see if I can find some. I don't know if I can, but if I can, I will drop that in the description too. But it's an easy Google search. Look at the reviews, and have these food. And usually, when you do it initially, there's some type of discount code they'll give you. So make sure
Yeah.
you take advantage of those. And if you do subscription based, there's other discounts that they'll give you. And so we thank you. That was a gem. Like, I totally didn't even think to even ask you about that. And if as we get ready to say goodbye,
Mhm.
again, be sure to follow Chantel's Food Ventures on all social media platforms. I'm
Yep.
stalking her on TikTok for my grocery list, and I said that like 4 times already. But she has some really good recipes there. But can you just share with us one of your favorite go-to recipes right now? Because we're going to bring you back to talk about more, of your
Mhm.
recipes. But can you share one of your favorite go-to recipes right now?
Hmm. This actually is going to sound kind of boring, but it just happens to chokehold at this present time. So for some reason, I am just like obsessed with roasted vegetables at this present time.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's probably what I'm going to eat for lunch when we get off of this call with some other stuff. But I just put a lot of random stuff in there, honestly, and it just always comes out good to me. So it's like Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, there's celery in there,
Oh, wow.
onions. Yes, right? It seems weird, but it works.
Okay.
Spinach and all these things just just compiled in there and roasted. And for some reason, it just tastes really good. And also, I'm not really a breakfast person either.
Mhm.
So I started to make this smoothie that has blueberries, oatmeal, chia seeds, some honey, and almond milk in it, and a banana, and half of a banana. It's top tier. I had that this morning.
And that's my go-to breakfast now. Some type of
Yeah.
oats. I usually do steel oats.
Hmm.
I tried to do the overnight steel oats, but doesn't work for steel oats. It's like 3 nights to
Yeah.
get it like super. So what I do now is I soak it overnight, and then I cook it in the morning and
Okay.
add. Trader Joe's has this, because I don't like peanut butter, but I do like this
Hmm.
sunflower
Oh, so
butter.
good.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
what you're
So I
talking
add a
about.
little bit of that, some bananas, and that's my go-to breakfast
That
now.
sounds
But
really
I do
good.
recommend the last lesson that I want to share is stay away from the breads and the cheeses, because
Mm.
while it may come across as vegetarian or plant-based, depending on where you fall on the
Mhm.
spectrum, the cheese most often is processed, and
Mhm.
the weight will stay on. And the bread, if it's just if it's regular white enriched bread, the worst thing
Mhm.
you can eat between the sodium and the carbs and everything. So a lot more vegetables and fruits. And again,
Mhm.
you can find all of those recipes on Chantel's social media platforms. And we're going to link a link to her link tree so you can get her email list, and she will send you more. And we're going to have her back. We're going to have her back
Yeah.
to talk about recipes. I'm going to update my weight loss because, like I said, 11 pounds down as of today. And this is without, exercise of
Mhm.
any type, not even, my 10,000 steps,
Steps,
not
yeah.
10,000 miles. And so, as someone who used to do the Daniel fast as well during Lent,
Mhm.
I would always lose weight it was just like natural, but
Yep.
I was starving. It was definitely hard. It was not creative. It was not exciting. So I'm looking forward to the Daniel fast this year because of you, Chantel. So
Oh, thank
thank you
you.
guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on
Mhm.
notification bell so you know when Chantel is coming back. And share this with a friend or family
Yes.
member, because that's the power of community. And we need to listen. No reason for us to have as many health issues as we do
Mhm.
in this community with access to online ordering,
Yep.
access to online information and the like. And Chantel has a lot of that. So please follow her. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Chantel, thank you for being my first live guest of 2024. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
dropping
having me.
in. And I look forward to doing this again. Do you have
Of
any last
course.
words that you want to share before we
Um,
say?
any last words? I will be coining cousin Chantel from now on. And also, healthy does not mean boring. Remember that. Like it
Yes,
doesn't.
yes. Thank you so much, Chantel.
Of
Looking forward for
course.
you returning. And until next time, everyone, take care.
All right, bye, guys.